Good afternoon and happy Saturday to everyone. I just want to share with you this weather that we're having. We are definitely in a winter wonderland here in the South, and I'm loving it. I have been waiting for some snow. I can take small amounts of it. Don't like blizzards. Don't like anything over 3 inches of snow, because it takes a long time to go away when you have more snow than that. But beside being very cold outside and snow on the ground, it has been a very picturesque day, very beautiful day on this January. I think today is the 7th. I may be wrong. I'm not sure. But at any rate, I'm just happy to be here. And welcome to Book Chat. I am your host, Author Vivian E. Moore, in case you're wondering if this is your first time listening. I just want to share with you before we start today's show, I want to give out some URLs. The first one is, of course, to my Spreaker account, and it is https://www.spreaker.com/user/author Vivian E. Moore. My Facebook is https://www.facebook.com/Vivian E. Moore. And my Twitter handle is God's Property 46. And my lovely Instagram page is https://instagram.com/God's Property 51. And of course, if you want to check out my webpage, that is http://vivianemore.wix.com/author Vivian E. Moore. And you can also drop me an email. That email address is authorvivianemore@gmail.com. All right. So now that we got all of that out of the way, let's move on to today's show. The title of the show is, Do You Want to Ride? And the topic is creation, publication, and distribution. Are you adventurous? Do you like wild rides? Well, writing is a lot like that. From conception of a story, you embark upon a seemingly endless venture. However, as we all know, things do come to an end. Hopefully, a happy one. This is phase 1, and it consists of story creation. Where a story begins, we seldom think of the process, but there is one, and it can be sometimes lengthy. Keep in mind, it doesn't end when you finish writing the book. So many hours, days, and sleepless nights go into the production of a book. Seasoned writers are aware of this, but for those who are just starting out, I'd like to take you through the steps. Now, the traditional process goes a little like this. You write, submit, and wait for the publisher to do everything else for you. Super simple, right? but not so much for the DIY or self-publisher. Not to discourage, but there are a few more steps involved. The beginning is the same as far as writing, but then comes the rest, such as editing. As writers, we all know how important this is, as well proofreading. Unedited work can stop the process dead in its tracks. Let me just give you a quick example. I just read quite a few books, and it was like holiday stories, but they were all written by the same author. And I mean, the stories were very good, but the editing was horrible. And, my eye is trained to see those blemishes, because I've proofread so much work to where my eyes just zone in on it automatically. But it could have taken away from the story, and, by someone else who maybe, they have a problem or an issue with reading books that have these flaws in them. Now, coming from the point of view of a writer and an author, I do understand that sometimes there will be mistakes, because no matter how well edited the book is, sometimes you can't find every little discrepancy that's in the story. And it may be from where you were editing and they deleted something and maybe added something else, or forgot to add a comma, or forgot to add colons or apostrophes, or added in an extra word or whatever. Just those little things sometimes are very distracting when you're reading a story. And, for the average person, they may just read right over it, not even see it. But like I said, for someone with an eye that's well trained, of course, you're going to pick up on it, you're going to see it. But anyway, this is so unacceptable on every level. We must take pride in our work and not be willing to sidestep quality because we're in a rush to see our book in print. And I think this may be the case for a lot of self-published authors. And this is just it's just an FYI for you. If you are working on something, you want to have it professionally edited. You don't want your friends who may be an English teacher or whatever their profession may be. You want someone who is trained to edit work specifically, because they know what to look for, and grammatically, transitionally, every aspect of everything that's involved with publishing and editing. You want someone who is capable of doing a great job. And then, two, the responsibility also falls on you, because you need to go behind them and do the proofreading to make sure that everything is in order. And you have to view it from not the reader, but you have to read it. You have to view it from the editor's point of view when you do this. And I know what I'm talking about because I've done it so much. And you just have to wear that different hat every time you look at your manuscript. You wear the writer's hat when you're writing the story. You wear the reader's hat when you're reading the story, and then you wear the editor's hat when you're editing the story, and then the proofreader's hat when you're proofreading the story. So there's a lot involved. It's just more than writing a story and then sending it off. There's a lot of steps to it. But self-publishers are entrepreneurs in a sense. We really are. We own the company, therefore we are responsible for every single detail from beginning to end. What we produce has to be perfect. We are held to a higher standard because we made a decision to take matters into our own hands. So that's a lot to think about. That's a lot to consider. And, although there is room for error, we should keep it at a minimum. We are our own billboard for success. Everything we do is scrutinized because we lack the benefit of a major or lesser publishing company backing us. So you've written a great story, and now you need a way to get it edited, printed, and in the hands of millions. The next step, or phase 2, is publication. This is where research comes into play. Non-traditional publishers, there are tons of them, let me tell you, but they are not all alike. Just a little advice. Stay away from vanity publishers. All they want is to make money, and they don't really care if all is in order. Hence the word vanity. No need to elaborate. You must be diligent and optimistic to find the right publisher who will cater to your needs first and not just your dollars. Nevertheless, once you've found a publisher suitable to your requirements, you can move forward with the process. As writers and authors, our work is just as important to us as any traditionally published artist. We desire and should expect the same representation. You need a publisher who will follow the same process and take you through the necessary paces to ensure your book meets the required standards. Not only is this a win for you, but them too. You are their gateway to success. You are their next customer is based on your satisfaction. Keep in mind, DIY publishers, you have more control in what you desire over the traditionally published artist, such as the exterior of the book, for example. In addition, there is a tremendous amount of book cover design companies just waiting to get their hands on your ideas. This encompasses pre-made and order on demand. The prices are quite affordable, and they range anywhere from $40 to $80, and some may be a little bit higher than that, but they are very affordable. At least the ones I've had the pleasure of seeing. In my experience, I've found working in the non-mainstream or traditional way of publishing is both satisfying and rewarding. Now, if seeking publication through this avenue is too much for you to absorb, then there are a few other options, such as CreateSpace or Kindle Direct Publishing on Amazon. Now, keep in mind, they don't offer editing. This is for the author who has already completed every area except publication and distribution. So, the way CreateSpace and Kindle Direct Publishing is set up is that, you've already written the story, and then you can upload your manuscript. And I think they even have basic book covers for you to choose from. They're not anything fancy. So that's where going to some of the options that I told you about that are out there. You can do a search and just put in book cover design, manuscript book cover design, because sometimes it'll bring back book covers like you would put over school books or something like that. So you need to be specific in your search of what you're looking for. But and then as far as the editing is concerned, again, I say you should definitely go with someone who is experienced and not just anybody, because like I said, this is your brand, and you want to make sure that it is close to perfect as you can get it, because I'm a writer, I'm an author, but I'm also a reader of books, and I've taken the opportunity now that I'm not writing right at this moment. I'm just taking a small break from it. But I've been reading quite a few books here lately. And as I've said, I can tell the ones that were probably edited by the writer, opposed to those who have sought professional help to have their books edited the correct way. And you just want to do that as a DIY publisher. You want to make sure that you put as much investment in your company, because you are your own company, as you can, because you're trying, not just to sell a few books to your friends or your family. You want to distribute these books to as many readers as possible. And not only that, you want them, if you should ever write another book, you want them to be loyal customers. You want them to come back to you again to read your books again. And, depending on what you put out there, if it is not close to perfect as you can get it, then they will remember that. And they will not bother to read another book written by you, no matter if the first book was, if it was a good book. But you can make it a better book. You can make it a great book by doing all of these things. I repeat, editing is crucial to the success of your book. It completes the package. Now let's move on to phase 3, distribution, or as I like to call it, the piece de resistance. Okay, we've completed the first 2 critical steps. Now comes the most important one of all. How do we get our books to the public? Well, the most common way is by or through online distributors. For example, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Apple, and Ingram Spark. Ingram Spark, they are the portal or clearinghouse for brick and mortar entities. And what that means is that if you want your book, being a self-published author, if you want your book distributed through bookstores that are not online, that are in physical buildings, then more than likely you're going to go through Ingram Spark, through that program. And most self-publishing companies, when they distributed your book, it goes through Ingram Spark if you want it to. And I would suggest you do that, because that's important, because you do want your book to hit as many bookstores as possible, and to be sold through those avenues as well online, because there are so many traditional people who would rather go to a bookstore, and so they can browse and and look at the books. Whereas if you're looking at them online, sometimes you lose that personal touch, because you have to flip through so many pages or go backwards and forward. If you're not looking for a specific title. But, if you're looking for a specific genre, then they try to narrow it down for you. And you can narrow it down more for yourself if you just put in a specific search as to what you're looking for. But it's pretty much spelled out for you. Now, I love the way Amazon has it set up, and a lot of the other book sites as well. But I love Amazon, and it may be because I'm more used to it using their site than I am to the other ones. But and Apple is also another one that I like. But if I had to choose between the two, it would definitely be Amazon, because I like the way they break everything down for you. They really do it in great detail. So you have a better chance of actually finding more books of what you're looking for than if you did on any other site. It's just a bit more broader search than some of the other ones. But this is why I love self-publishing, because it allows us the same avenues to present our work to millions of readers. Along with distribution, we must consider advertising. Now, I didn't list that in the topics that we were going to be talking about, but still, to me, that falls under distribution. You have to have advertisement, and if no one knows who you are, then you're just selling. Your books would just sit on the shelf collecting dust instead of being sold. And, we don't want this to happen. So we have to get the word out through different mediums, websites, email, and let's not forget social media, because they are key, especially if you're already established and have a good following of fans. I have been on Facebook, Twitter. I don't know if I mentioned that one or not, but and most recently Instagram. I think I had an Instagram page maybe some years ago, but I really didn't utilize it as much as I do now, and I love it. But mostly Facebook and Twitter, and also Pinterest, because so many people are on Pinterest. I mean, just as much as Facebook and Twitter. And that is a great medium to advertise through. And then they have these tutorials that teach you how to advertise on these sites. So you need to take advantage of that, and read and learn as much as you can. Ask for advice. If you're not sure, sometimes they have chats. You can actually chat online with the real person, and they can answer questions more in detail than if you were just reading some of the questions and answers that have already been posted out there. If you just need to talk to someone to walk you through the process, then that would be a great thing for you to do. But there are so many different ones to tap into, and like I said, of course, my favorites are Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram. They allow you to advertise and promote your work for free, although you could hire someone to do the legwork for you, which has the potential of reaching many more readers than the ones I mentioned. But also on Facebook, you can boost your post. Say, for instance, if you're advertising your book on Facebook, and if it's a really good post, you can boost it, and you have to pay for it, of course, but you set the limit as to how much you want to spend for them to get that post in view of as many people as you can possibly get. So the more the better. That's what I say, and I mean that's the purpose. For me, as a writer and as an author, I want to get my book seen by as many people as I can, and so that's a good way to do it. It sends it out to a specific group of people. The range in if you're doing contemporary romance or whatever it is, whatever your genre is, you want to target a specific age group. So, of course, I want to target people who are older than 18 and above. So that would be my target. But if you were doing YA, then, of course, you want people who were 16 and above. So it just depends. But because a lot of people tend to, scroll past most advertisements, because I know I do it too sometimes, because it seems like you're just bombarded with them, when you're online, when you're on social media. But sometimes you can overlook something great, and I've done that before. So I try not to do that. I try not to get overwhelmed, because, like I said, it's a lot of information out there. But if you're looking for other readers that are posting things out there, then you want to tag as many of those as you can, because it helps when you support other readers and writers, because if you do them the favor of liking their posts and sharing them, then they would do the same for you. Hopefully they would do the same for you. But at any rate, you should do that, because we need to support each other as writers and as authors. We need to do that. Either way, this ends the process, until you start work on the next project and you hop on the exciting ride of being an author. So, this is all I have for today. And I hope that you have enjoyed or learned something from what I shared with you, because that's my goal. When I come on every Saturday at 6 p.m., It is to give information, to try to help those who are on their way up. Like I said, I don't know everything, but what I do know, I try to share it with as many others as I can. That's the purpose of this show. I want to uplift, inspire, and to help people as often as I can. And I know that I only do this show for about 30 minutes every Saturday, but I try to put as much information in that small amount of time as I can, because I don't want to bombard you with too much information, because that will make most people tune out, and I want you to tune in. And you are, and I thank you so very much, because I haven't checked the stats for the last couple of weeks. I haven't checked the stats on the show, so I don't know if it's gone up or not, but I know the last time that I checked it, I was over 500 listeners. So I thank you so very much for your participation, and I would like it so much more, and would appreciate it as well, if when you do listen to the show, that you would like it on Spreaker, like it on Facebook, like it on Twitter, like it on Instagram or on Pinterest, because I do upload it to all of those sites. And leave comments. Please do that. Let me know that you like the topics that we're discussing here on the show. If it's something specific that you would like to hear me talk about, please feel free to shoot me an email. I've given out that as well, or just leave those comments on my Spreaker page, and I will read them, and I listen to advice, because some of the topics that I discuss on the show, they come from different individuals. They may not post them on the on the Spreaker page, but they tell me when they see me, how about this, how about that, and so I listen to that, because, like I said, I don't know everything, and you are the readers, and you listen to the show, and for those authors and writers who are trying to get their feet wet, so to speak. These are the things that they need to hear. So, like I said, I thank you so very much for your input, because I need that, and your feedback. But I just hope that everyone has had a beautiful weekend. I know we've had back-to-back holidays, and I know that I've gotten a little bit slack because of the fact that we've had so many holidays. I haven't made any New Year's resolutions. I don't do that anyway. My main thing is to just keep moving forward, to keep writing and just doing the best that I can. But I do want to share with you that now that my book is out, it's available online. I know I told you this before, but it's also now going to be made available in bookstores. And so right now I'm in the process of trying to see if we can get it into Walmart and into Target. So those are a little bit more challenging than some of the others, but it is in Barnes and Noble. So to me, that's a huge step in the right direction. So I'm happy about that. I'm most grateful and thankful for that. Coming up this month, I have book clubs that have invited me to come and sit in with them while they discuss the book. And my book is actually going to be featured on the next book club meeting. I think it's January the 22nd. I think that's on a Sunday. I've been invited to come and sit with them and chat about the book. And then in February, I've been invited to speak to a group of ladies and talk to them about whatever topic that I choose to talk about. But so I have an assortment of things that I can choose from. So I'm going to be working on that, because that'll be coming up quicker than what I realized. But at any rate, tomorrow is worship day. And, I always say this, if you don't have a church home, then you need to, if you can, go and visit someone else's church, go with a family member, go with a friend. Worship is a very huge part of my life. My faith is what gets me through day to day. And without it, I don't know where I would be. I really don't. So I'm so thankful that I have that, and that I have a church home, I guess it's why I stress the fact so much that, for those who don't have a church home, who don't go to church on a regular basis, find somewhere to go worship, even if it's turning on the television and listening to some of the pastors that are on there preaching. But you still have to have a discerning ear when you listen to them as well, because you want to make sure that they're preaching and teaching the word of Christ. And that's what they need to be doing. But all in all, you need to tell someone that you love them, because tomorrow is not promised. So we need to do that today. Again, I say I hope that everyone has had a wonderful weekend despite all of the snow and the ice. It could be worse than what it is. The sun did come out and it did melt some of it, but I don't think that we even got above freezing today. So that's something else to think about tonight. Again, thank you so much for tuning in to the show, for listening every Saturday. I do appreciate all of the listeners. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. And I hope that 2017 will be even better than 2016 was. And I look forward to talking with you again next Saturday at 6 p.m. on Book Chat with Author Vivian E. Moore. Until then, be blessed and goodbye.